When I first moved into Oak Estates, I truly believe I found the perfect sanctuary, a quiet, serene neighborhood, a peaceful little garden to tend to, and most importantly, a safe space for Max, my loyal service dog and best friend, to roam freely. After spending years in Congress, constantly in the public eye, all I longed for was a place to heal, away from the chaos of politics and prying eyes. But peace? That was short-lived. It all started with a note. Unauthorized pet. Violation of HOA codes. At first, I laughed. Clearly, someone hadn't done their homework on service animal laws. But then I heard it. The sharp, condescending voice that would soon become the bane of my existence. You must be the new neighbor breaking our rules. Karen Martinez, the self-appointed HOA enforcer, the woman who strutted across my lawn as if she owned it, arms crossed, nose scrunched in distaste. We don't allow large dogs here. I met her stare, keeping my voice firm but calm. Max is a service animal. Federal law protects his right to be here. She scoffed, snapping a photo of him with her phone. We'll see about that. That night, I found one word spray-painted across my fence. Violation. My stomach churned. Checking my security footage confirmed my worst fears. Karen had been supervising the act at dawn, a smug smirk plastered on her face. And that was only the beginning. The next few weeks were a nightmare. My mailbox overflowed with HOA letters, each one more absurd than the last. Fines for made-up infractions. Claims that Max was aggressive. Even a warning about my non-regulation tomatoes. But Karen didn't stop at paperwork. She went public. Flyers appear around the neighborhood with a zoomed-in image of Max Midyawn, his teeth circled in red with a caption. Dangerous animal. Beware. But the worst? The worst was when I caught Karen's teenage son crouching in my yard, planting fake dog waste to frame Max. Furious, I confronted her, only to be met with a smirk. We're just documenting the truth. Then one morning, I stepped outside and felt my heart sink. My garden, my peaceful little haven, was dead. Every plant, every flower, wiped out by industrial-grade weed killer. My security footage told the story loud and clear. Karen's husband, Mike, sneaking onto my property in the dead of night. Enough was enough. I called my legal team. But Karen and her allies weren't backing down. They organized an emergency HOA meeting with one clear agenda, forcing me out. That's when Mrs. Jackson, my elderly neighbor, slipped me a note. They're planning something big. Be careful. The night of the meeting, I arrived with Max at my side, and the moment Karen saw us, she lost it. That dog is aggressive. He's ruining our community. I didn't flinch. Instead, I pulled out my laptop. Actually, let's talk about property values. I projected my research onto the screen. Since I moved in, property values had increased. The only recorded decline came after Karen's unauthorized pool installation cracked her neighbor's foundation. I had receipts. I had satellite images. I had legal documents. Karen's face burned red. You can't record HOA meetings. I smirked. Actually, state law allows it. Then I went for the kill shot. I exposed Barbara Thompson, the HOA president herself, for illegally extending her fence onto public land, the same land she accused Max of trespassing on. Silence. Karen's hands clenched into fists. This isn't over. She stormed out, but I knew she wasn't done. And I was right. The very next morning, as I took Max out for his usual training exercises, I spotted her. Karen, lurking nearby, her phone raised. We need evidence of this nuisance, she whispered to her husband. Then Mike stepped forward, holding a gun. My blood ran cold. Think very carefully about what you're doing, I warned, my voice deadly calm. Max didn't move. He was trained for moments like this. But before I could react, a car backfired down the street. Karen screamed. Mike pulled the trigger. The shot rang through the air. Max yelped, his body hitting the ground. Blood pooled beneath him. Karen's shriek cut through the chaos. Self-defense. That dog was attacking. But she hadn't counted on the neighbors watching, recording, capturing every single second of what had just happened. Sirens wailed in the distance. My hands shook as I cradled Max, pressing my emergency contact. "Sarah," I whispered, voice raw with panic. "They shot him." The color drained from Karen's face. "Wait." Sarah, recognition flickered in her eyes, because she finally realized who I was. I wasn't just some homeowner. I was Congressman James Sullivan. The footage spread like wildfire. Every news channel played it on repeat. Karen's shrill voice ranting about community standards. Mike pulling the trigger. The FBI got involved. Years of HOA corruption unraveled. Misused funds, discriminatory fines, illegal property seizures. Residents came forward with horror stories of harassment and forced foreclosures. Barbara and Karen, they resigned in disgrace. Mike, arrested for animal cruelty and illegal firearm use. The HOA dissolved within a month. Karen tried to sell her house, but no one wanted to buy from the woman who shot a congressman's service dog. She packed up and left town, drowning in shame. And Max? He survived. He walks with a limp now, but he's still my best friend. The war was over, and we won.